Progress time. There. That's my Firebird so far. I've been doing lots and lots and lots of silver. Uh, I did do the black on the tires just today. So getting out of the silver zone and into the green zone very, very soon. And I still really like the sparkly headlights. That's genuine Austrian crystal right there. So nice and shiny. It almost doesn't really do it justice on the phone. Um, these are nice and shiny and sparkly, like in the dark. You can kind of see them staring at you, which is cool. But since I'm about to finish this one pretty soon. I decided while I was out that I would get another 12-inch hoop. So I did. And you can help me decide. These are the kind of mid-century muscle car patterns that I've got. I've already done the GTO, as you know, and the Firebird is up there, which I'm working on, but there's a Starfire, there's a Bel Air, which is awesome, 2 Corvettes, a Riviera, Charger, and a 67 Mustang, which is a really cool year for Mustangs. I like that year. Although, a 1980 Fox body hatchback would be really fun to do. Um, Personal connections to cars are amusing. I also would love to do an original Volkswagen Beetle. That would be really fun to do because that's the car that was mine. I had one of those as my very first car. I got that kind of baby boomer, maybe Gen X even experience of being able to build the first car that I had. Um, I gathered that would not be something that people do nowadays. Um, but I did do that. Uh, well, I should be more accurate and say my dad basically did it. Um, but I watched and sort of learned, and together we figured things out because it was a Volkswagen, you see, so not a domestic. So my dad was like, I don't I don't know as well how this will all come together because it's so small. He was used to these kind of cars, which are not small. They're the opposite. They are not small. um, and anyway, you let me know which of those you would like to see kind of come to life, or if there's other cars that you would enjoy having on your wall. I've got lots of them that I would do. I would do a 73 and a 75 Malibu. I would do a microbus, a Volkswagen microbus. Those are so fun. I love those. Uh, I would I would do that Porsche that Janis Joplin had, and it was like it looked like they painted it with paintbrushes and like peace signs and stuff on flowers. It was so period appropriate. I also feel like I should ask for any fun car stories that you might have. I think most of us have funny old car stories, maybe. I don't know. I've got several about the Volkswagen that I had. I think the probably the funniest story that I can give is when the horn started honking for no reason. In short, this car was a 1969, so it was old. My dad acquired it in, I guess it would have been about 1998. So it had been sitting for years and years and years. And it had been in an accident at some point in the past, and the steering column was bent inside of the kind of outer, I don't know what that's called, I guess some sort of a shaft or something. Anyway, it was bent inside. And what happens in that car, anyway, is when that bend touches that outer shaft, it completes a circuit or something. I forget exactly how it works, but it makes the horn honk if it touches, which isn't a problem if the column is still straight. It won't do that, right? So for reasons that I don't understand even today, my dad decided that instead of replacing the steering column, he would put duct tape around it so that it wouldn't touch that outer cylinder when you turned the wheel. Of course, you turned the wheel like this. It wasn't a, like it is today, where you can like touch the steering wheel and it turns. Anyhow, I was coming home from school and I turned a corner and all of a sudden my horn honked. And I was like, that's weird. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I told my dad about it when I got home. And he's like, oh, well, that's weird. Okay, I'll take a look at it when I get back. Okay. So got home and he was experiencing the same problem. And then it kind of clicked in his mind. Oh, and then he looked inside where the steering column is, and the duct tape had been worn away from rubbing against that that shaft. So that had to be replaced. We had to change it out finally. But it was a funny story though, because it was just like, why would a steering wheel turning have anything to do with the horn honking? Why? That was why. And there are many other silly stories too about that car, but just thought I'd share because I'm sure we all have funny things like that. And this experience of remembering these stories is weird to me now because my own child, not a child, he'll be 17 in January and is eligible to have a learner's permit to drive, but does not want to. I've asked him a few times, been like, I can show you how to drive if you'd like. And he's like, nope. And I was like, why? And he said, I don't want to be responsible for all of that power. Nope. Which I find very interesting because when I was that age, I was like, take me to motor vehicles on my frickin' birthday because I'm getting the learner's permit and I'm driving us home afterwards. Very different. It was very different times. But anyway, this was mostly just to say hi and check in on ya, and I hope you're well. I'll see you later.